Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
All right. Well, thank you for joining Business Ninjas. We're excited to have you on board and learn some more about the company. So maybe we could start by having each of you kind of introduce yourselves, and then we can dive into the company name and the website and all of that good stuff.
Okay, this is Mauricio Lorenzetti. I'm based in Miami.
Great.
Yuri?
Well, I'm Yuri Frigoleto. I'm based in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I am here taking care of communication, content, collaborations with branding, and multimedia.
All right.
Hello guys, I'm Felipe. I'm Brazil and I'm product director at Atlas. It's glad to be here.
Right on. Great to have you.
I am Wellington, talking to you from Brazil too. I'm the COO and CTO. Well, the IT guy from this team.
Right on. All right. Great to have you all on board. And maybe if you can just tell us where people can find you, what the website is and the name of the company, and where you're based. It sounds like split between the US and Brazil.
Yes, we are based in US.
Yep.
It's a company. No, we incorporated in US. We started in US. The name of the company, it's Atlas, right? The website. Atlas is a very common name.
Yeah.
But it really resonates with our vision in our mission. So our website is go-to-atlas.com.
Great.
Just pretty
Okay.
suggestive too.
Right. And Mauricio, if you could give us a little bit of background, just a quick bio about what has led you to this point in your career and launching this company, that'd be great.
Yes, we came together from a different backgrounds. We were doing consulting when we found each other, right? I spent most of my career on the financial industry, and both in Brazil, initially in Brazil, the last 27 years in the US. I managed to deploy financial services for multiple corporations around the world. A lot of experience in Asia, in Europe, managing large organizations. So carrying this experience, it came together when I met with Felipe and Wellington 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
They were working on consulting business in Brazil. They were focusing on developing people, helping companies improve performance, recruit. They were using some assessments, third-party assessments, but they have built a lot of instruments, internal instruments to help them with the business. And we decided to join forces and start Atlas.
Right on. Okay. And what is the sort of the niche in the industry that you're focused on?
Yeah, we are focusing on helping people managing their careers,
Okay.
their professional careers. We started developing tools for the point where people move from individual contributors to managers. It's
Okay.
a big transition for most people. Now they are, especially when they have a technical background, they start managing priorities, conflicts, having to delegate, and a lot of people struggle with that. So we were working on that, and then we realized that the problem starts earlier, right? And actually, when we start doing the research, we found that most people get lost when they leave high school. And that's the moment where we could be most impacting in their career. It's helping them decide on a career up front. And we found out that almost 60% of people drop college They end up with student debts. Only 11% actually work on the subject that they majored in college.
Wow,
so
that's
it's a system, very, very inefficient system from the start. So we decided to tackle that.
okay.
And it's okay, instead of helping people only when they are already managers, so they already had poor experiences, let's start helping them when they start the professional journey. And for that, we start developing a few tools that are consolidated into Atlas today.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds, and was this something that in your careers collectively that you had kind of noticed this challenge when people are at that inflection point of moving from single contributor to a manager? Was this something that you had kind of seen over the history of your career?
I saw that myself. It was a major impact for me when I was told, okay, now you need to lead those 5 people, right? So it was like a very impacting moment for me. I started struggling with the politics, with the nature of the work that we were asked to do. I could deal with a lot. I could not pass things through. So I start struggling with that and start building coping mechanisms and start developing tools to push back things. And that was the starting moment for me. Then when I was already managing a large organization, people sitting in different countries, I started noticing the same thing with them. They were with difficult delegating. They were struggling with the interpersonal relationship, conflict, dealing with the client. My background was in technology, right? So you are always serving another department, another area within the company. So there was a lot of struggle there, with some people. So I started building things and methods and ways to deal with those things.
Interesting. Okay. And then, so I think I understand how you kind of started the company, or the vision when you started the company. And then did that change after you kind of had maybe your minimum viable product and you went out and started talking to companies? Did the original vision kind of carry through to where you are today, or have you kind of updated and changed things as you've gone along?
Yeah, so we have been reshaping. It's a very young company, right? Mm-hmm. So our product became ready for launch a couple of months ago.
Great.
During the research period, we were reshaping how we were designing and building the product.
Yeah.
But the essence was still the same. There is one thing I forgot to mention that was very important and was almost accidentally, but it's part of the DNA of Atlas today. As I mentioned, I graduated computer science long time ago. And I realized very early that I chose a profession that depreciates very fast, right? When I went to college to get my diploma, I was not sure if I just got the paper and left or I started over, because people that were just starting college, they were dealing with a different technology, different language, different type of computers. And that was another aha moment for me. And I kept an eye on the market, right? So I moved jobs to make sure that my market value was always competitive, that I was always on top of the latest trends, the latest technology, the latest languages. So this was a very important element when I managed my career. This is in Atlas. So when we built the product, we make sure that people manage their abilities, the investment they make into acquire abilities. Mm-hmm. They are able to translate those abilities into responsibilities, right? You can learn a lot and just for yourself. Now you need to deploy this learning, this knowledge into work. Yeah. And when you deploy that knowledge into work, you can ask for the proper compensation. So those 3 things work together. right? You acquire abilities, you develop your skills,
Yep.
you use those skills to bring value to the corporation, to the society, to the environment where you live, and then you take compensation according to those values, right? So this is very important. Not everybody knows how to manage those three simple levers.
Yeah.
And we build this into Atlas. Right? We want to help people manage this throughout their career.
Yeah. And I wonder how, so it sounds like you were probably building the product and working through the attributes you wanted to have during the, the COVID years. And I wonder what that changing workplace environment has done to kind of inform how you built the value proposition, right? So there's been a lot of changes in the workplace, the hybrid work environment, work from home, et cetera. And what was that experience like while you were building a company to help people navigate these big career challenges?
I think we actually had a very good, the momentum was very good for us, right? Because people were struggling. To be honest, I've been working remotely since 2000, maybe 2009, 2010. I always work with clients in different countries. So I was always in conference rooms, like Zoom meetings. Right. So it was very natural to work from home for me. So I was like probably 3 to 4 years ahead of the pandemic, right? The COVID.
Yeah.
Not everybody was there. A lot of people struggled in the beginning. Why? Because they didn't develop the skills necessary to work on a digital world, right?
Yeah.
So the world was already there. The pandemic just uncover what was already available, right? And people were not using. A lot of companies found out that they could reduce cost, right? A lot of commuting that was saved. There was some challenges, right? Some emotional, mental challenges for some people that stay at home. But now we are seeing the opposite. We're seeing the other side of it, which is companies struggling to bring people back to the office.
Right.
People don't want to. They don't want to invest the time they used to invest in commuting anymore. Now, sometimes both parents are working now. Before, one had to be at home. Now both are working, so they don't want to quit just because one of them needs to now go to the office. So there are a lot of changes that happen in the family, in the household, that the post-pandemic is exposing, and the businesses are struggling with that. So what we did, to your point earlier, we adjust the target audience for Atlas. It is and will always be the individual, but we are packaging the product to serve companies and colleges. So why we serve companies? We can deploy Atlas as a self-contained, as a product in a private ecosystem, right? So companies can use the tool to help retention, to help mobility, to improve performance, to deal with those conflicts, people that don't want to go back to the office. Yep. So it is a very good mechanism for companies to manage their workforce, and for the workforce to manage their own careers, and for those two things to reconcile. So we help them reconcile those two things. Right? So it builds a triangle.
Interesting. And which parts of the company are the entry points for you? What part of the organization are you talking to?
We have been focusing a lot on HR. Right?
Yep.
So it's the door we are knocking. We are getting good responses there. Right? Okay. The feedback is good. It's validating the conversations we have been having for the last 3 months, very intense conversations with companies of all sizes. It's reinforcing the results of the findings we had during the research. Right? Okay. The companies the people are struggling with the working conditions, the changes, how technology is affecting their jobs. It's not only the COVID, right? It's artificial intelligence, it's robotics. Now, there are a lot of things happening at the same time the recession, right? The economic downturn, the war in Ukraine. So a lot of variables, a lot of the environment is very complex today. It probably was always complex, but it's very exposed today, right?
Right.
And they're having trouble managing this. So imagine the analogy we make with HR, and they like the idea. They actually are the way our interactions are going. We start the phrase and they're finishing it, right? So we are so in line with the pain that they are having that we start saying, I give 2 examples, they give 3 back. So it's very interesting.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And so with that kind of a response, I'm guessing that you're able to kind of separate yourselves out from the competing solutions that might be out there. So broadly speaking, like
right.
what are you bringing to the market that doesn't exist today? How are you?
I could say everything, but the thing is this is I'll make an analogy. It's you imagine the world before cars, right? So it's like wagons and horses. This is the mentorship and coaching of professionals today, right? They are based on wagons and horses. So what do I mean by that? Is that the best, the top of the line that you get, the most sophisticated service you can get for mentorship today as a professional is to go to a marketplace, answer a few questions, and be assigned to a mentor. A mentor is the person that has probably 10 to 15 years more experience than you, and will be trying to understand the challenges you're facing and try to build a development plan for you. Those things work between 8 weeks and 6 months, right? In between 2 to 6 months, a plan. You get to talk to that individual probably once a month, depending on the price. It's very expensive. You can get to talk maybe every 2 weeks. You're paying a fortune. I'm saying, okay? They make more money. Coaches and mentors, they charge more per hour than doctors. Okay, so it is an absurd. But that is the wagons and horses. Now, Atlas is the automobile, right? Atlas is allowing you to drive to where you want to go at the speed that is convenient to you. You're not limited by the speed of the horse. You're limited by the speed of what you can put in the car. So it's a total transformation. We have a network of mentors, but you don't get to talk to them, right? It's a merge. Atlas is a merge between LinkedIn and Waze.
Okay, interesting.
So it gives you a plan, a map of your career looking forward. Yep. It projects your career looking forward. That's what Waze gives you. And every step. So if you go to LinkedIn, you see the past, right? You see somebody's history from the moment they left high school to today. In Atlas, you see the moment from today to the future. We project the future, right? And we give you the milestones. We help you achieve the milestones. Everything without talking to a single person, right? It's on your time. It's 24/7. If you have challenges, right, you can go there and say, okay, my boss is asking me to do this, and I don't think it's aligned to the mission of the company. Or he's asking me to come every Saturday for the 3rd week in a row. So every challenge you have, everything that is bothering you professionally, and even things that you are not willing to talk to your own boss, to your spouse, to colleagues, you can share with Atlas. It's 100% private, is 100% anonymous. Nobody knows who you are. And every challenge gets to be published anonymously in a board where hundreds of mentors will look at that and will give you alternatives, will suggest you solutions. Those solutions will come through a funnel. And that funnel will ensure, the algorithm will ensure that only the best 3 options will go back to you. So basically, it's a curated mentorship mechanism.
Wow.
Real time,
Wow.
24/7. You don't get to talk to anybody. You're not subject to the experiences, the bias, the mishappenings of one individual, right? It's the collective. It's crowdsourcing.
Boy,
Nobody's doing that.
I wish that was available when I was early in my career. That would have solved a lot of painful problems.
Exactly.
I will be a millionaire if I get $1 every time I hear that, right? Everybody will say, "Oh, where was Atlas when I was 17?"
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Wow. Well, what are you doing to reach out to the market? What's your strategy for kind of educating prospective customers that need to know what you have available to them?
Yeah, we're a startup, right? We got funds until half of next year. We are managing very tight budget. We're deploying a lot of our resources toward building the solution. What we are doing is today we are a B2B company. We are focusing our sales through HR, through corporations, colleges, and high schools, especially private high schools, right? We want to talk to government, but later. But private colleges, private high schools, and corporations. We are gonna do that until we reach 30,000 mentees. The moment we reach 30,000 mentees, then we are not a startup anymore. We are a small to medium business, because it's extremely profitable the way we are engineering this. So what's going to happen is from 30,000 onwards, we are going to become a B2C. So we are actually going to go out to the market through YouTube, Instagram. We're going to go to social media more heavily. We're going to deploy pretty much everything. 30% of our revenue goes to the mentors to pay for and there is a very interesting mechanism there that is also unique. It's unique in the context of mentorship. It's not unique in the world. It's based on royalties. And the same thing happens to artists. I think it should happen to mentors as well. So every mentorship that you provide, that you give, and it gives value to someone, you get credits. Those credits are yours forever, right? So those credits are cashed every 3 months. And that mentorship can be reused, so you get credits again. Every time the mentorship is reused, the algorithm finds that another person in another country can benefit from that suggestion. You get credits, and your credits will turn into a paycheck at the end of the quarter.
Wow. Okay.
The mechanism is it can become a passive income if you're a good mentor and if you have very good suggestions. We are going to be running in 56 countries, and Atlas is multi-language, so you don't need to know 56 languages. That's 14 for that matter, right? It's going to translate things for you. But what's happened is that mentorship is giving value to somebody. You're getting credits. And 30% of our revenue goes toward that.
Wow.
Everything else, it's Amazon. It's just the cloud, right? So the margins are very good. So it's a very profitable business. And we want to deploy directly to the person, to the mentees directly. So after 30,000, we get enough cash to go digital marketing straight to the end user.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So it sounds like your main social media channels then are going to be which ones?
Instagram, LinkedIn, a lot of LinkedIn, right? We're talking about professionals. LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube.
Okay.
That most likely,
Right. Wow.
Yuri?
Yes.
Okay.
Sales letter also, and this kind of.
While we are B2B, then we are doing a little bit more traditional,
Yeah, that makes sense. Great. Well, thanks you guys for taking the time to explain the value proposition of the company to us and for coming on the podcast. We appreciate it and wish you continued success.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.